Indeed. What a lovely start to this part of the show. Good morning. This is Game Day Breakfast on talkSPORT. Former Galatasaray, Benfica, Wales striker Dean Saunders alongside me, Natalie Sows, we take you through until 9. And this was the song that you said, Dino, would get you all on the Wales bus, pumped for the game when you were heading to Cardiff.
I didn't realise what the words meant, actually. If you look at the words, they were trying to ban it, weren't they?
I don't know. I haven't looked at the words.
Well, none of us have until you look at the words, but we used to put it on the bus, and we took it as, it's a song, right? But it was about us coming back to Wales. We all moved away from Wales to play in the English League.
Yeah, I get that.
And we
That's
were all
nice.
coming back to Wales, and we're on the bus, and nobody else can help us. There's the fans in the National Stadium, 70,000, and us, and that's it. And nobody cares about us, and we can beat anyone. That's how it works.
Okay. Well, I like the fact that it, for me, seems quite innocent about returning home and playing on the hallowed turf of wherever you were playing.
I'm
Cardiff.
taking it as that.
Yeah? Can we do that? Okay, let's move on very quickly because I had no idea what it's about otherwise. Alfie Reynolds is back with us as we continue to look through the papers. And I mentioned England featuring today. The Daily Telegraph with an interesting article.
Yeah, very interesting article. I love it when it gets to this time of the year, towards a major championship, and everyone starts losing their mind about England team selections and squads and who Gareth Southgate should and shouldn't pick. So there's a bit of that today in the Telegraph, although it is good food for thought how Southgate can solve his Paul Scholes problem. So everyone will remember the era of Scholes, Gerrard, Lampard, Beckham. How did that midfield not deliver for England? Are we on the verge of another kind of era like that with the amount of talent that Gareth Southgate has available to him? But essentially, what Jason Burt is saying in the Telegraph today is his suggestion for how you can start Phil Foden, Cole Palmer and Jude Bellingham all in the same England team, in which there's a couple of different options. One is shifting Bellingham back so he plays as a pivot with Rice, and then Foden has the kind of 10 role, and then Palmer could play out on the left. The alternative to that is a 4-1-4-1, so Rice as the holding player, then the 4 in midfield of Saka on the right, Foden and Bellingham and Palmer on the left, and Kane up top. What do you reckon? Any takers there?
Well, I was a bit confused about the conversation about we need Manu, is it the young lad?
Yeah, Bobby Manu.
He's got a different profile to what we've got. Declan Rice can play anywhere. Declan Rice cost 100 million from West Ham to Arsenal because he sat in front of the back four and never went forward. Souček used to go forward, and that was his role. So if you ask Declan Rice to play as the only City midfield player, he can do that. If you ask him to play as the 2 running forward, he can play in that role. If you ask him to get on the ball and start spraying passes everywhere, I don't think he can do that, but Trent can. If you ask Bellingham to defend, I'm not sure whether he can do that, but he can run in the box and score goals. If you ask Maddison to play as a sitting midfield player, he can't do it. I mean, you can keep going and keep going. I would play Declan Rice, Trent and Bellingham.
So you'll go for Trent in midfield?
Yeah, because he's the quarterback spraying balls. His ball striking and his creative thoughts are he'll find Harry Kane.
It's always an interesting thing with these discussions, isn't it? Because a lot of the time it comes down to what would you do as an individual and what do you think Gareth Southgate's going to do? Because, well, maybe there is a situation in some group stage games where Trent plays midfield, but it's just not going to happen, is it, when it comes to any of the big knockout games that we hope England get to?
Well, what would have happened? He's got Phillips and Henderson playing alongside Rice. That's what he would normally have done. One of them two, and Rice, and then Bellingham. But it looks like they've played their way out of the team. Phillips and Henderson. So who's going to play alongside Declan? Or you just go after teams like Ange does. You play 1 sitter, 2 getting in the box. Maddison and Bellingham.
I'm conscious of, again, we've only got through one story. We haven't got much time. So which one do you want to go to next?
Should we go for Virgil van Dijk? There is a good exclusive with him in the Daily Mirror today by Mark Jones with the title, With Love From Me to You. This is all about Van Dijk has found home in Liverpool, how happy he is there, how settled he is in the city, and essentially saying that he wants more success, he wants more silverware. They've got the League Cup, they've obviously got the Europa League, and they're going pretty damn well in the league as well. What do you think Liverpool are going to do this season, Dino? Premier League title?
Yeah, good chance. I think inside me, I feel like Arsenal are just creeping to the title. I think the manager's worked it out. He's added Rice to what he had last season. He's calmer than he was last season. Providing he doesn't have head loss, Arteta, now, I think I can't see him losing. But Liverpool are playing at the highest intensity. Man City are the best football team. So who holds your nerve? Right now, I don't know. I wouldn't like to have a bet. It's close.
It is close. And, I mean, what you would say, I suppose, we've said this all along with Manchester City, we still don't feel that they're reaching top gear. So whether that's going to hit now, we don't know. Arsenal feel like they are the best team right now. And just in terms of a team and their performances week in, week out, seem to be just brilliant and breathtaking at times. Liverpool, though, are just getting the job done, which is, when you're at this tight stage of a season, isn't that the most important?
Yeah, they're giving a few chances up. I mean, Sheffield United could have gone 2-0 up after 2 minutes. They've been a bit lucky in a couple of games. Obviously, I want Liverpool to win the league, but I just see a few things and I think, well, you might get punished for that. But Arsenal look like they're not giving anyone chances. Man City missing Gundogan, I think, a little bit. But they can turn it on at any point. But Van Dijk, for me, going back to Van Dijk, what a player. It's hard to find a better centre-back than him in the world.
I think also with Van Dijk, the importance for him for this Liverpool team going forward, when we look at the post-Klopp era, Van Dijk coming into the captaincy, taking over from Jordan Henderson, you feel like he always has been, I know, in terms of his quality, a key player in that team, but in terms of his leadership and what he brings to that team, it's going to be even more going forward for the next few years as well.
Yeah, and he's played sometimes, the back four sometimes was Bradley, Kwanzaa and Shimikas left back and Kelleher in goals. And he's holding all them five together. And he's done it. He's like, last season he wasn't as good. Maybe his injury was still hanging over him a little bit. But for a player who can play on the halfway line, play football like a midfield player and sprint like a fullback, a quick fullback, hard to beat.
Well, Liverpool do have a big game coming up this weekend as they take on Manchester United. That is tomorrow.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.